You know grammar, you're able to make sentences. But there is something that is stopping your fluency, that is a hindrance to your communication skills. And what is that? No, it's not pronunciation. It's not the way you speak. It's more or less the clarity of thought, approach, and attitude. Being a language trainer for almost 6 to 7 years, I've got the experience of training several people, especially adult learners. And it's not just about teaching grammar, sentences, and some syntax and leaving the classroom or the session. It's all about real life experience, helping you unravel the mind block, a hindrance to your thought process. It is this block in the mind. And for that, if you're into self-learning, if you don't have a mentor, do not worry. I'm going to give you some guidelines, 4 to 5 guidelines. They are important. You can identify the problem easily and then begin working. It's all about attitude and approach. You are an adult learner for life, even if you don't want to learn the English language. Today, the problem is not with the access to the language. English is not a new language for the Indians. It has been there for political, social reasons and also because of interest. Some people pursue it as passion and interest, and for others, it's a very big nightmare. It's not just about the language, it is more or less about your attitude and approach to these things. There are people who tell me I'm not able to face a meeting. I'm not able to speak freely with the opposite gender. If none of these are bothering you, definitely you can work on the problem that you're facing. I've done a lot of videos. I'm a CELTA certified tutor and also an author. You can find authentic resources, activities, videos on language, communication skills, and mental health here. The first point is catastrophizing. I've already mentioned about this term, catastrophize. It means to present something or perceive something in the worst possible manner, in the worst possible form. Like you may have some situation, you would have come across something in life or someone in life, but you take it to the extreme. You are into this habit of presenting it in the worst possible form. For example, if you attended an interview the other day and you had a terrible time there, you were not able to express properly, freely, and you felt that you were befuddled. You were not able to express clearly. It was a big hindrance to your clarity of thought and communication skills. You're actually experiencing a past situation. You would have come across some situation like that, not necessarily an interview, and that could be the mental block that's stopping you from expressing something at least. It's not about facing anxiety and nervousness. I already spoke about the nervousness and anxiety faced by fluent learners. Even fluent learners, native speakers experience anxiety. There are people who experience fear and anxiety in their own native language while speaking to strangers or even during an interview. So here, it is more about thinking about the worst possible things that can happen to you. I wouldn't call this foresightedness. It's more about perceiving it in the worst possible way. It's also not negative thought, but it is connected to your previous experience, prior experience, talking to strangers, taking part in an interview or a group discussion. It can be anything. Attending an interview always brings about this reflex action of being in the safe zone, where you feel that you are going to bubble with anxiety because you have strangers and experts in front of you. I've already mentioned about this through 3 videos. Please watch them before coming to this. Do not catastrophize. Do not think of the worst possible thing that can come your way even before experiencing it. What if this is a new experience? What if this is going to be your luck? What if this is going to be a place, a turning point that's going to decide what you really aspire for? Though you may have fear and anxiety, because you're a human being, you will be connecting it to previous experience, memories, and things that you have at the back of the mind. Try to treat everything as a new experience, and then you will never catastrophize. To an extent you may, but not in the worst possible form, and that is catastrophize. The second point, personalizing. Now, when it comes to the YouTube also, you may have a lot of creators giving you guidelines. This is not part of advice, because I don't think people need or require advice today unless they ask for it. So most of the creators have this inbuilt knowledge. They are aware that you don't need any advice, but many of you need guidelines. That is what I am also trying to do here. What is the point of just teaching the concepts and giving the information and walking away? Because language is connected to real life, and you may require more additional points. In order to do justice to that, I think it's important to give you some real life activities and examples. Personalizing means you take everything on a personal note. You may feel that people are not speaking to you, people are avoiding you, or when you even come across a general aspect, a situation, you may feel that it is all about you, it is only you, and it is just created for you. You may have relatable experiences and situations. Relatable experience is different from personalizing everything that comes your way. For example, an interview, learning English, or even sharpening your skills. Going and speaking to a new person can be all new experiences for you, or it could be a different experience. There you cannot take things to that personal level where you may feel that it is only about you. With patterned approach and attitude, where you feel that with some analysis that people are focusing on you or it's only about you, yes, then it's true, because you have been observing for some time. But here I'm speaking about personalizing things with vague, ambiguous information. It cannot be even called information, but some details or some inputs that you get from here and there. When it comes to learning language, also people personalize. It can be taking the blame and also putting the blame on others. You can point your fingers also. So negative criticism is one subtopic to this, but personalizing can always be damaging, because you are building a wall around you thinking that it is a kind of defense system. So subconsciously you're trying to escape, you are trying to create that restricted wall where you pacify yourself, saying that it's not for me, they are focusing on me, it's only about me, and they're speaking about me because I don't know English. I'm not just referring to English, it can be any situation in life where you feel threatened, where you feel a bit anxious. New environment, new atmosphere, and even new things can bring about this anxiety. For some time, as human beings, you will experience this, but later you will slowly unfurl this anxiety, and it will become confidence. It will also give you some point of familiarity. You will also feel that everybody is not there to just focus on you to make you feel threatened. Until and unless you come to the spotlight. So when you come to the spotlight, you would have gained some confidence, right? But before that, when you're a beginner with skills, when you're a beginner or even an intermediate person with skills, with life, I'm speaking about life, you may feel that everything is focused on you for all the wrong reasons, with ambiguous, with limited and confined knowledge. When it comes to criticism also, people usually judge others, thinking that she's made for that, he's made for that, she's that, and he's that. I'll come to another point called labeling here, okay? Personalization is also about the negative side, where people just see one side of the situation or whatever is being seen. This is not exactly a constructive perspective. This is more about unwillingness or the failure to see the other side of that aspect, that situation, or that particular problem. Even if it's not a problem, even if it's a positive thing, you need to look at all the angles, the possible angles, right? The next point is overgeneralization. I'll give you an example that is often spoken about during training sessions and language counseling sessions. Suppose you had a bad relationship with a friend or anybody else for that matter. You think that everybody is like this, everybody from the opposite gender is like this, or they have these kind of thoughts. It's not like that. And everybody has got different upbringing, environment, they have different thought process. They are also susceptible to change all the time. So overgeneralization is also something that can be applied to learning a skill, attending an interview, coming up in life where you feel that this is not for me. You label it as this is not something that is made for me. Through analysis, of course, you can say, you may work upon intuition, pattern, analysis, and all these things. That's fine. That's when you have the details and the profound knowledge. But what if you have got just limited knowledge? You generalize. You feel that the situation, the resource that you are relying on, or even a particular activity is not for you just because of one or two situations or one or two people who just came your way. No, that's more about probability. Possibility could be there. What if this is just a probability and not a possibility? There could be more options and possibilities, and you are just shutting the wall and the door to that possibility by saying that this is going to happen. But when we come to this point, overgeneralization, it is more about the direct experience that I'm speaking about. The next point is mental filter. Mental filter is not like the filters that we use today. Why do we use a filter today, especially on social media or otherwise? It is to just project something in a different way. Most of the people do that. Otherwise, to hide, to mask. I wouldn't say that all the time they have the intention to mask, to fake it. No, that's not the case every time. It could also be a way to express something in a different mode with a different environment. For example, if you have a raw video that has got natural light, people would just want to put in that caramel effect to give another expression to it. There you may not want to just mask or fake it. There are people who just want to fake it, who want to hide certain things. That's okay, that's perspective. But mental filter is more about shutting the doors to other possibilities. See, when it comes to YouTube also, there are people who get used to resources and people, only one person, one resource, or maybe a couple of them. It's good to filter. Choosing the option that is workable for you is different from putting a mental filter where you block the possibilities to other options that may work for you. So you may think, I know what's going to work for me. I know what is the best for me. That is true. But when you apply this mental filter, you are blocking the possibilities that can work for you. So it's in a negative way that you put this mental filter. Remember, I gave you two examples. Filters are applied on social media to give another expression to the frame that you are viewing or watching. Also, it is to hide certain things. So here when I speak about the mental filter, it's more about how it can affect you, because I'm speaking about clarity of thought and communication skills. So when you apply this mental filter, it may simply stop you from speaking further or looking at a point from another perspective, from another angle. Different angles can always give you different thoughts about a particular topic or a point, and that can help you with clarity of thought and communication. The listeners also will be clear with what you're trying to express. So my point is, don't hold on to one thing that you're familiar with. The next point is labeling. So labeling can happen with yourself. You can also label others through judgments, the kind of experience, limited experience that you have. So labeling can happen with the self. What is the meaning of this? Where you label yourself to be inefficient, to be not good with communication skills. I come across many people telling me that I've been learning English for 10 years, 8 years, but still I feel I'm not able to come up in this particular area of skills. It's not like that. You would be following the wrong methods. You would have been going through the same repeated process that's not actually helping you, where you have applied this mental filter, you have been catastrophizing without your knowledge, or you would have been overgeneralizing things at some point. Now, these are all different terms given by psychologists and doctors, but even before you know it, it is a part of our life. So as you know, books are written and people speak about all these things from real life experience. So labeling happens. In your mind, you're labeling everything in a negative way. When you do it in a positive way, it's called affirmations, where you affirm, you give some assurance to yourself, you have some positive labels. When I say positive labels, it's more about trust and hope, even when things are not working fine, even when you feel low, even when you feel that things are not going in the way that you planned or expected. So these are all the points that you can focus on. Now, what is the significance of all these points? It could be creating this block in your mind, which is actually stopping you from thinking clearly, from communicating with clarity. So when your focus is on something else that is not just language, when you don't even watch a video up to this point, if you've watched the video up to this point, great. But when you don't have the patience to listen but just focus on something that is not going to help you, what is the point in just complaining and cribbing? You are putting yourself in a trap, and these days nobody takes the effort to correct you when you have already decided to confine yourself to the well, like a frog in the well or like a person in the bubble. So when you point your fingers at others, we call it negative criticism if it's in a negative way without any constructive feedback. But you can become a different person, and that is when transformation happens. Real language learners always experience this transformation. Changes lead to transformation, but that should come from you. In spite of having different methods and possibilities and good resources, if you shut yourself and put yourself with all these problems, it's not going to help you. I hope you get a clarity on these points and work well. Happy learning.